Hey everyone, my name is Chelsea. I'm a doctor of physical therapy with Renew PT, and in today's video, I'm going to be guiding you through a series of exercises for pelvic floor relaxation. Let's get started. So we're going to start in a seated position, soles of feet together into a butterfly pose. And when you're doing this, I want you to think about releasing tension between your legs and your pelvic floor. Also taking some deep breaths as you're doing this exercise. You can also lean forward into it a little bit so you'll feel it more in your lower back. But again, if you're feeling tension in that pelvic floor, try to actively release between your sit bones. Next, we'll move to our backs. We're going to transition into happy baby. The feet will come up and come wide. As you're doing this, try to take deep breaths in and really focus on releasing those pelvic floor muscles. So as you breathe in, that pelvic floor will naturally relax. And as you breathe out, it's going to do a slight contraction. So make sure you're taking those deep breaths in and really feeling those pelvic floor muscles fully relax. This is a good one for the inner thighs if you hold any tension there. You may even feel it in the area of your tailbone. All right, next we're going to transition to our figure 4 stretch. So starting on either side, you're going to want to cross one leg over the other like you're making the number 4, and then bring that knee towards your chest. So you'll feel this on the outside of your hip and in your buttock. And again, just try to breathe through it. One of the muscles in the pelvic floor also helps rotate the hip outward. So this can be a really good stretch for those pelvic floor muscles that may not get as much attention. And go ahead and switch to the other side. My right hip is much tighter than my left hip, so I can feel this quite a bit more at my right hip. So you may feel that one side feels a little different than the other, and that's okay. Just try to really breathe through that, work through it, and again, make sure that you're not holding tension in that pelvic floor. Try to check in with yourself and make sure you're not clenching there. Sometimes when your other muscles feel tight, it's easy to hold tension in the pelvic floor rather than fully relax. All right, we're going to move to our child's pose. So you'll turn over here, hands go out in front, and you want to think about doing a really wide-legged child's pose. That way you can fully relax that pelvic floor. So head comes down, sit back on your heels, and just breathe. Next, we're going to press up into our downward dog. So start with your knees over your hips stacked directly over top of your knees. Curl your toes under and then push your hips up and back. And in this position, try to let that pelvic floor tension go. Again, you might feel this one closer to the tailbone. Anywhere from the tailbone to the pubic bone is going to be appropriate for these stretches whenever you're focusing on the pelvic floor. You may also feel some pressure in the lower back and in the hamstrings. So make any adjustments as you need to. So a lot of these are yoga poses, but we are specifically focusing on the pelvic floor aspect and just drawing your attention to the pelvic floor to try to actively relax. Okay, and then finally, we're going to have you lie on your backs. And as you lay on your back, just put your one hand over your chest and one hand on your belly. And you want to focus on seeing if you can keep the air out of the chest and more on the lower rib cage into the belly. We're just going to take 10 deep breaths. Okay, that's it for our pelvic floor relaxation exercises. I hope that you found this easy to follow along. And again, it's all about just focusing that attention onto the pelvic floor. So let me know what you thought of this video in the comments. And as always, please like this video and subscribe. Thank you.